Hello, I'm IDiivil,
I'm Auburok.
and we're Sophisticated Mayhem. For March, we've picked a game of the month, Payday 2 by Overkill Software. Payday 2 is available for PC, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3. Most of what we're talking about will apply to all versions, but some of this stuff is PC exclusive as of March 2014.
Payday 2 is a 4-player co-op first-person shooter. There's a variety of missions for the game called heists, and a bunch of different objectives for each, but the basis is still the same. Steal everything valuable and shoot helmets off of cops.
And the faces off civilians.
Technically, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to time up.
Yeah, they're easier to shoot then.
The average heist involves some sort of objective that can be completed in stealth in various ways, or blown through with firepower. Objectives tend to involve dragging a bunch of loot bags to an escape point, or grabbing one item of interest. If attempting stealth, the usual obstacles are locks, guard patrols, and cameras. If brute forcing it, you'll mostly be dealing with waves of cops while waiting for a ride or waiting to break through a lock. The countermeasures you encounter can change depending on the approach your group takes, like shutters dropping down when the alarm's been tripped. Enemies and potential obstacles can also change from difficulty, which range from normal to the recently added Death Wish.
Drills are the most common element to defeating some sort of security measure like doors or safes. Just walk up, hold use, and place a drill on something that needs drilling. You're not done yet though, things take time, and they are kind of fragile.
This drill is fucking worthless!
So you'll have to fix them, and they are kind of noisy, but that's not the only option. Safes and doors can be lockpicked with a skill from the ghost tree. Some door locks can be shot through, or you can steal a keycard, or you can saw through it or blow it open with explosives.
In other words, you're not forced to do one thing when you play the game.
Except for cops, you need to kill those. There's just no other way.
But you may ask, why don't I just do the same thing on the same levels? Excellent point, but there's a random element to the game. The missions are the same, but the amount of loot, placement of civilians and guards, layout of particular levels, locations of saves or cameras, and other things can change from game to game.
Sometimes there'll be a huge safe with a ton of money in it, and sometimes there won't be a safe. There will always at least be enough cash in a heist to complete your objective, but anything extra you bring in ends up being a huge bonus. Why would you want more cash? Well, how else are you going to buy an arsenal?
There's two kinds of cash in Payday 2, spending cash and offshore account money. Offshore money is the clams you got in your Cayman Islands account, but spending cash is the stuff you got in your pocket, ready to be blown on weapons, weapon mods, and masks.
There's a bunch of guns in the game, and some are locked until you buy some DLC. Each player has a primary weapon, such as an assault rifle, light machine gun, or shotgun, and a secondary weapon, like a pistol or a submachine gun. Guns are purchased using spending cash.
Players have a bunch of space for making custom guns, and can buy more spaces if needed. Each gun has a bunch of options for mods like suppressors, grips, magazine extensions, scopes, and stocks. Mods not only require spending cash to install, but also require a part to begin with, but we'll get to that in a bit.
Masks also cost money to purchase and modify. There's a variety of patterns, colors to the patterns, and mask materials to find and use in addition to different mask shapes.
Weapon mods, masks, colors, and shapes for the masks are dropped from completing heists. When a heist is completed, everyone in the party has a choice of 1 of 3 cards laid out for them. It's like those games those dudes outside of Times Square used to steal your 20s.
Only in this case, everyone's a winner. Sort of.
Picking a card will give you whatever is depicted on it when it turns over. When it turns over, so will the other ones to show you what you didn't pick, just to piss you off.
Damn oh, infamous.
Sometimes you'll get something rare, infamous. Only mask items are able to be infamous, so don't worry, there aren't any rare gun parts. Yet. But you'll also get something else from completing heists. Experience.
Each player levels up as they complete missions, and as they level up, they earn points to place in one of the 4 skill trees. These trees are Mastermind, Enforcer, Technician, and Ghost. Each tree needs just a single point invested to unlock the tree, so you can multi-class and create your own combination of skills.
Mastermind is a medic with a few passive abilities that buff his team and control civilians, but he's also able to dominate enemies and force them into servitude. Enforcers are armored brutes with bonuses to enduring damage and using shotguns. They are given access to the most durable armor at the top of the skill tree, and they also have access to a utility saw that tears through enemies and some obstacles with ease.
The Technician is the gearhead of the group that can augment their drills to be more efficient and quieter. They're also able to use trip mines, blow open safes, and deploy turrets. Lastly, Ghosts are the stealth specialists. They have passive abilities to move more swiftly, kill quietly, and remain undetected.
You're totally free to mix and match between trees, and you're always able to reset your skills. Skills cost money to put points into, so the trade-off is that when you reset, you lose a portion of the cash you've invested. It's not the end of the world, in other words, if you want to switch your build.
Skills cost different amounts and can be upgraded from a basic skill to an aced skill. Aced skills either improve the basic skill further or add extra effects. For example, the Mastermind's Endurance skill gives the player 100% more stamina with 1 point and gives the whole party an extra 50% on top of that when aced. The first 3 tier skills cost 1 point for basic and 3 for aced. 4 through 6 cost 4 points for basic and 8 for aced.
There's some more when it comes to leveling, but it's pretty much Payday 2's form of prestiging. There's a few perks, like unique masks and reduced point costs for picking skills, but it requires you to reach level 100 and have 200 million offshore first, so worry about that later.
Yeah, one step at a time.
But that's enough of that! There's a ton of mechanics in this game, especially with the newest Death Wish update, so we'll lay out some useful tips.
Tip A, if you join a public game, or any game for that matter, don't pull out your gun and start popping off shots when your team is trying to be sneaky.
Everyone fucking hates it. Just don't do it! When in doubt, use the mic. When you've got the voice of Urkel, use the game chat. This game thrives on teamwork, so don't screw it up for your companions by, not fucking listening.
Tip B, greed is nice when things are going well, but sometimes you gotta cut your losses and run, especially in pro jobs, which are jobs that you can only attempt once before getting kicked back out to the lobby for sucking.
An extra bag can sometimes be worth it, but don't force your team to redo a mission just because you wanted to pick up the loose items left in the jewelry store.
They aren't even worth that much.
Tip 3 or C or whatever. Fucking duck, come on. The game is pretty lax with regenerating armor, so poke your head out and get back into cover when you get tagged. Unless it's a bulldozer, then you just run.
Unless you're flanked and there's a bulldozer, then you're in trouble.
Tip D, come geared for the mission. If you're supposed to be sneaking around picking locks, you may want to leave the LMG at home. The exception, of course, is if you're the backup plan or you're fighting a bunch anyway.
And bring the right equipment for the job.
Yeah, talk with your team and see who needs to bring what. Sometimes, believe it or not, the team does not need 4 medkits, especially when there's a safe that could be blown open.
And lastly, tip E, if you hear or see a cloaker, taser, bulldozer, or any other special, call it out. Mark them with the use button at the very least so other players can see it. Cloakers can cripple a team quickly if not dealt with promptly, and bulldozers require a lot of firepower focused on them to bring them down.
Unless you want people to not like you, because, by all means then, say nothing.
There's probably as much as we can explain without this becoming half an hour long. There's a bunch to the stealth mechanics and a lot of things for specific missions, but it wouldn't be fun to tell you how to do everything, would it? Anyway, we hope you enjoy our pick for the month.
If you'd like to play Payday 2 with us in March, or even later, check out our Facebook page or join our Steam group. Thanks for watching.